What's going on, everyone? So, the Lakers are 3-0 and are going to test that against the Phoenix Suns today. This time in Phoenix and the beginning of a road trip. Lakers need to handle business, right? Phoenix, they are a very favorable matchup for the Lakers. They lack defense. They just don't have the guys and personnel to match up against the Lakers. They lack the size to match up against the Lakers. And the Lakers, when they play their brand of basketball, when they play the right way, and Phoenix isn't shooting 70% from three-point range, you see that the Lakers really have the advantages on most fronts against that team. Now, they do still have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, which is always going to be a tough ask, always going to be a tough task. But I do believe if the Lakers play their brand of basketball, play the right way, they can still pull out this win. It is, however, incredibly hard to beat anybody, right, in a two games in a 3-day span. Especially, it just came off back-to-back. You only have a day rest. Now you're flying to Phoenix. So, again, I do believe that the Lakers can get this done. Sacramento, even, I had my concerns going into that. Sacramento has owned us the last few years. And then, we were 0-10 with Anthony Davis and against Sabonis and all that. Changed the narrative. Right? All of a sudden, that one win, the Lakers 3-0, sit top the mountain, everything's looking good. It's like, hey, let's keep this momentum. Let's keep this pushing. But it's not just that. Lakers have played Phoenix. Now, this will be the fourth time in 3 weeks? 2.5 weeks, something like that. That's just a lot of times to play somebody and they get all their looks. How many different ways can you play a team, right? How many different ways can you, and look, I'm not putting anything past JJ Redick. JJ Redick has shown time and time again, his bag is deep. He's reaching all the way down and just pull out gem after gem after gem. You look at the Sacramento game, right? Everybody played. Everyone played well, right? It wasn't just Anthony Davis going off for 35, LeBron going off for 30, right? No, you had those two get you, 60, 64, whatever collectively, and then you had, or 63, and then you had D'Lo chime in, finally hit some shots and make some plays and do some nice things out there. Austin Reeves, same thing. He continued back-to-back games. Last game was against Phoenix, where he first finally started hitting shots and kind of getting in a rhythm, getting in a flow. And Phoenix Suns are also a very favorable matchup for Reeves because he doesn't really have to worry about a stout rim protector, and he can get by Bradley Beal. Devin Booker, you saw pick his pocket a couple times, right? Devin Booker's a little harder of a matchup for him, but he can still kind of navigate and get through it. Got to protect the basketball, but he can still do what he needs to do on that front. Basically, just Austin Reeves can play his game against Phoenix, right? They don't have the guys to match up to really kind of slow Reeves down. That's why Reeves usually has good games against Phoenix, because their guards, yes, are excellent offensively, but defensively, Devin Booker can hold his own. But outside of Bradley Beal, he's never known, even when he was healthy and in his prime, wasn't known as this lockdown defensive two guard, right? He can have his moments. He can play defensively, but this is good games, good matchups for D'Lo, for Austin Reeves to really just kind of continue to be in attack mode, continue to be aggressive. And you add that to LeBron James and Anthony Davis doing LeBron James and Anthony Davis things. Rui Hachimura, he's a huge mismatch for everybody on Phoenix. Because Phoenix literally has no one to defend Rui. Because the only guys that are as long as him are Nurk, who's too slow, and Kevin Durant, who's too little. Right? Rui just bump him out the way the entire time. And you've seen Rui, again, have a lot of success against Phoenix because he's able to kind of get to his spots on the floor without much resistance. And then kind of just shoot over the top, elevator, just kind of get by the defender, get to the basket, kind of create the contact, or just, put him on the block and let him go to work. I'm excited to see how JJ Redick is going to approach second game again in a 3-day span. You still have to play him 2 more times, so it's how much you want to give away, right? Obviously, you want to win every game, and you want to try to go out there and win every game possible. It's just tough. Look, the Lakers handled home court, which is what you want. You got the 3 home games, especially for just a brutal schedule. Because we still have Phoenix and then the Cavs coming up, and then it gets a little easier, but then you still have Memphis and all these other teams. So it's not going to be easy, right? Lakers' schedule is tough. And the Western Conference, every Western Conference team outside of 2 or 3 could easily be in the play-in or playoffs this year. The Western Conference is incredibly tight. So if you're the Lakers, you need to make sure every game counts, every game matters. And because the West is probably going to be so tight, you go on like a 3-game losing streak could be the difference between you being the 3-4 seed or you being like the 6-7 seed. Right? We saw it last year. Right? So Lakers need to make sure that they're handling business night in and night out. If you do have a bad game, you bounce back and you make sure it wins, right? Like that's what I'm curious to see. Like how do they? Because first 3 games you got a little bit of everything. You got the control game start to finish. You got the down 22, came back and won. You got the tight game, fourth quarter. Who's going to execute, who's going to play and deliver down the stretch, and Lakers start the fourth on like a 14 over. Like, you got what you needed from the Lakers. So you saw the, like, hey, here's a little bit of each game. Obviously, Phoenix, you don't want to get down behind again. They are still not very good in the fourth quarter. So that's a bonus. So if it's tight going into the fourth, I do trust the Lakers to execute, close it out. But you don't want to have that hiccup again where it's like, oh, we're down 20 again. Like, yeah, we just beat them down 20 before, but you dig yourself too many holes. Eventually, you dig a deep enough one where you're not going to be able to crawl out of it, right? So if you're the Lakers, you need to handle business and execute right out the gate. You need to play well and execute, handle business right out the gate. Lakers offensively, Phoenix has no answer for them. Right, Lakers are going to put points up on the board. But can they stop Phoenix enough to make sure that you have more points on the board? And guys, can they continue to hit shots? You saw in the Sacramento game, D'Lo, Rui, Reeves, all hit shot. Dalton Connect, right? He had 10 in that game. He had 10. So you saw all your core guys really, I mean, even Max Christie, I think, was 1-1 from the field. He took one shot, but he hit it, right? Like, guys need to continue to hit shots. Guys need to continue to shoot well. Right? Like they last 2 games shot well, right? But you saw like the Minnesota game. We can't have this roller coaster where it's just like really bad shooting and then like good shooting, right? But it's a back-to-back. So how much of that was just the momentum and the short turnover period where you didn't really get as much rest, right? As now you got a day in between. Now you're going into Phoenix and you're getting away from LA because you were also in crypto. So you're doing, the same shooting, same rim, same everything, night in and night out, to now you're going to Phoenix and now you're going to have to make that adjustment, right? We got to be able to be as consistent as possible. Obviously good games happen. Obviously bad games happen, but you have a lot of favorable things in this Phoenix matchup. I want this win. I want to start this road trip 1-0. I want to be 4-0 on the season. That would be huge. And again, a continued statement. Because then you also, again, have to go into Cleveland. And that, I think, will be interesting. Also, I can see that being another Bronny moment. Right? I really do. So Bronny is supposed to go on this trip. This 5-game road trip. I think it's for that reason. I think it's for the Cavs game. Because like I said, Bronny's going to play a handful of games this year, probably. Outside of garbage time, obviously he might play some garbage minutes, but I'm talking about like actual like in the thick of it. And the games that I said would be the Lakers game in LA, right? Opening night, which happened. I said I think that he'll play Cleveland when they're in Cleveland because again, that's LeBron's hometown. It's where he grew up. It's where Bronny grew up, all that. And then I could see like maybe Miami because LeBron was in Miami, played in Miami, right? Like I could see, couple games where Bronny James actually gets some real minutes and gets some real burn. So, like, how does that stretch look when you're in it? Right? You don't want to take an L in that stretch. So, again, every game matters. Every game is important. But even if the Lakers do lose this game, I want to know, like, I want to see how. Right? Because the loss is going to come eventually. Like, Lakers aren't going to go 82-0. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be great if that happened. But realistically, they're probably not going to go 82-0. Again, losses happen, but how do they look? Right? Is it just we got away from our style of basketball? Is it, like they just shot the lights out? Is it just like, hey, it was a tight game, they hit the game winner? Right? Like, there's variables. Did the Lakers just play terribly? And it's just like, let's just wash your hands with it. Right? There's so many different possible outcomes and variables that could happen that you really want to see in that moment. Right, we've seen what all the wins look like. See what a bad shooting night, great execution night looks like in a win. We saw what, team shot the lights out. We maintained. We stuck to the plan. We stuck to the script. Got the win. We saw, game plan, back and forth game against a team that just had our number, and then boom, get the win. Right? We're all kind of waiting for that Denver game, right? Like we all want to see how does it look up against Denver, but I want this win. I do want this win. If they do lose this game, though, I don't think it's, sky is falling, Chicken Little, oh no. Again, it's just Phoenix is a good team. I just don't believe that they're a contender. Right? I've been pretty spot on with Phoenix, but I just don't believe them for a contention status, but they are a good basketball team, and no one would be shocked if they're in the conference finals or the NBA finals, something like that. I don't buy them as a real contender. And I just think they're a very favorable matchup for the Lakers. But you need to see, how do they look against them twice. This would be a good test, especially if the Lakers win it, because it's we know how to maximize against the most favorable matchups. Right? So that's a good sign for teams like the Thunder, who we match up very well against, stuff like that, right? And then Denver, how does that look? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? You excited for the season? You excited for this Phoenix Suns game? What do you think of us being 3-0? You want us to be 4-0? Or do you think it's tough? You're playing team twice in a 3-day span. It's not the easiest. So if it happens, happens. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.